Did you know the average American household has less than 3 days worth of food at home? Yet we're just one major blackout, hurricane, or global crisis away from empty grocery shelves. And here's the kicker: when disaster hits, it's not always the strongest who survive. It's the ones who had a can of beans and a flashlight ready. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you've ever wondered how people made it through Y2K, Hurricane Katrina, or even the Great Depression, yeah, I dove deep. I didn't just skim the surface. I studied FEMA guidelines, survivalist forums, and even flipped through Cold War era civil defense pamphlets. What I found? Some pantry staples last longer than your Netflix password, and in some cases, longer than your car. Today, I'm showing you 15 emergency survival items with the longest shelf life, including foods that literally never go bad, budget-friendly picks hiding in plain sight, and yes, a few that might make you laugh. Let's start with number 1, white rice. White rice is one of those foods that flies under the radar. You might not think much of it, just a boring side dish, right? But in a survival situation, white rice could be your best friend. And here's why. It can last up to 25 to 30 years if stored correctly. That's longer than some marriages and way longer than most tech gadgets. The secret to its long shelf life is low moisture and proper storage. Keep it sealed tight in an airtight container with oxygen absorbers, and you've got yourself a food that won't go bad for decades. It doesn't need refrigeration, it doesn't take up much space, and it doesn't throw a fit when the power goes out. Another big plus, it's super cheap. You can buy a 20-pound bag for around $20 or even less if you shop sales or bulk stores like Costco or Sam's Club. That's a lot of meals for not a lot of money. For budget-conscious folks, this makes white rice a smart pick for emergency prep without breaking the bank. It's also incredibly versatile. Need a quick meal? Boil it up and pair it with canned beans, peanut butter, or whatever protein you've got on hand. Want something tastier? Add spices, dried herbs, or even bouillon cubes to give it more flavor. It's like the blank canvas of survival foods. You make it what you want it to be. And let's not forget how easy it is to cook. All you really need is water and heat. Whether you're using a camping stove, a grill, or even a candle, in a pinch, rice can still get done. That kind of simplicity is gold when everything else feels uncertain. So next time you're at the store and see a big bag of white rice on sale, don't walk. Run to grab it. It's not just food, it's peace of mind in a bag. Number 2, salt. Salt doesn't go bad, ever. That's right. It literally lasts forever. No expiration date, no rot, no mold, just pure, simple, life-saving flavor. And yes, it's way more than just a seasoning when you're prepping for emergencies. Back in the day, salt was so valuable, people used it like money. In fact, the word salary comes from the word salt. So if that doesn't tell you how important it is, I don't know what will. Even today, salt isn't just for making your food taste good. It's for keeping your body balanced, helping preserve other foods, and even cleaning wounds if things get rough. Storing salt is super easy. Just keep it dry. Unlike rice or beans, you don't need special containers or oxygen packs. A regular sealed bag or jar works just fine. It won't soak up moisture from the air like other items, so you can stash it away and forget about it until you really need it. And trust me, when SHTF, you'll be glad you have some. Imagine trying to eat bland canned beans or boiled rice every day with no flavor. Not fun. Salt makes survival food feel like actual food. It can also help with medical needs like making saline solution or treating minor cuts. Best of all, salt is dirt cheap. You can grab a giant container at any grocery store for just a few bucks. No fancy brands needed. Basic table salt works just fine. So why not toss one in your cart next time you're shopping? It's small, it's light, and it takes up almost no space in your pantry. But in an emergency, salt might just be one of your most powerful tools. Number 3, sugar. Sugar is more than just your sweet tooth's best friend. It's a long-term survival item you don't want to skip. As long as it stays dry, sugar never goes bad. Seriously. It can sit in your pantry for decades and still be just as usable as the day you bought it. Think about that for a second. While milk spoils in days and bread molds in weeks, sugar just chills out. No fridge needed. No special storage tricks as long as it's sealed tight. Just keep it away from moisture and you're golden. Now, why would you want sugar in an emergency? Well, for starters, it gives you energy. In a crisis, calories matter, and sugar packs a punch when food is scarce. Plus, it's not just about making tea sweet. You can use it for cooking, baking, even preserving fruits if things get serious. Also, let's be real. Having something sweet can do wonders for morale. Imagine life without any treats for weeks or months. That's a fast track to Grumpy Town. A little sugar can go a long way in keeping spirits up when times are tough. Storing it is easy. Just pour it into an airtight container, maybe toss in a moisture absorber if you're extra careful, and forget about it until you need it. It doesn't take up much space and it won't leak, rot, or attract bugs like some other foods might. And guess what? It's super cheap. You can grab a 5-pound bag for just a few bucks at any grocery store. So next time you see one on sale, throw it in your cart. Not because you're planning on baking cookies anytime soon, but because you're thinking ahead. Sugar isn't flashy, sure, but in a world where things can fall apart fast, it's one of those quiet heroes. Always there, always useful, and always ready when you need it most. Number 4. Honey doesn't go bad. Seriously. Archaeologists once found honey in an Egyptian tomb that was thousands of years old, and it was still perfectly edible. That's how tough honey is. It might crystallize over time, but that's not a problem. Just warm it up and it goes right back to liquid gold. The sweet, sticky stuff isn't just for toast or tea. In a survival situation, honey can be a real lifesaver. It's full of calories, has natural antibacterial properties, and can even help treat wounds or soothe a sore throat when medicine isn't around. Storing honey is super simple. Just keep it sealed in its original jar or bottle. No need for fancy packaging or oxygen absorbers. As long as it stays dry and covered, it'll last forever. If it thickens or turns grainy, don't worry. That's normal. Just place the jar in warm water and stir until it liquefies again. What makes honey extra special is that it's both food and medicine in one. When things get rough, having a jar tucked away could mean the difference between a bad day and a survivable one. Plus, let's be honest, it's nice to have something sweet when everything else feels like canned beans and rice. And here's the best part. Honey never runs out of uses. You can mix it into drinks, drizzle it over bland meals, or use it to make homemade energy bars with nuts and oats. It's also lightweight and doesn't take up much space, making it perfect for emergency kits or bug-out bags. So next time you're at the store, don't skip the honey aisle. Grab an extra jar or two, not just because it tastes good, but because it's one of those rare foods that truly stands the test of time. Number 5, rolled oats. Rolled oats are more than just a breakfast staple. They're a survival superstar. And if you grew up eating a warm bowl of oatmeal before school, this one might hit a little nostalgic too. The cool thing about rolled oats is that they can last up to 30 years if stored right. That's longer than some careers and way longer than most cereal boxes. Just like rice and sugar, they need to be kept dry and sealed tight, ideally in an airtight container with oxygen absorbers. Once you do that, they'll be ready whenever you need them. Oats are super versatile too. You don't have to eat them as hot cereal. Mix them with powdered milk and honey, and you've got a homemade granola bar. Add water or broth, and you've got a filling meal that sticks with you. In a pinch, you can even eat them raw. Not the most glamorous option, but hey, survival isn't always fancy. They're also packed with energy. If the power goes out and you're suddenly doing a lot more walking, lifting, or manual work, oats give you the fuel you need to keep going. Plus, they're gentle on the stomach, which matters when stress and uncertainty are running high. And let's talk price. Rolled oats are super budget friendly. You can buy them in bulk for just a few bucks per pound. For people who like to plan ahead without overspending, this makes them a total win. If you have kids or older family members, oats are a great choice because they're easy to digest and comforting in tough times. Number 6, Bullion cubes. Bullion cubes might be tiny, but they punch way above their weight when it comes to survival prep. These little flavor bombs can turn plain water into soup, bland rice into something tasty, or add a savory kick to just about any meal. Most people don't think about them until they're gone. And then suddenly, everything tastes like regret and boiled cardboard. But keep a few packs of Bullion cubes tucked away, and even in a crisis, your meals can still feel like real food. They last around 2 to 5 years past the expiration date as long as they stay dry. And since they come sealed in foil or airtight jars, they're pretty much set it and forget it items. Just store them somewhere cool and dark and you'll be good for years. One of the best things about Bullion cubes is how easy they are to use. No chopping, no measuring, no fancy tools. Drop one in hot water and boom, instant broth. Add it to rice, beans, pasta, or even scrambled eggs if you've got some powdered ones, and suddenly dinner feels gourmet. And let's not forget the morale boost. When life gets rough and every day feels the same, having something that actually tastes good can make a world of difference. A warm cup of soup made from a bouillon cube might not seem like much, but in tough times, it's pure comfort. Plus, they're super cheap. You can grab a big jar or box for just a few bucks at most grocery stores or dollar shops. So next time you see one on the shelf, toss it in your cart, not because you need it today, but because you never know when you'll be glad you did. They take up almost no space, weigh nothing, and can seriously upgrade your emergency meals. In a world where survival often means eating whatever you have, Bullion cubes are the secret weapon that makes it all go down a little easier. Number 7, peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of those foods that feels like comfort in a jar. Creamy or crunchy, it's not just a lunchbox classic, it's also a survival must-have. And if you've ever tried to live without it for even a week, you know just how big of a deal that is. The best kind for long-term storage is shelf-stable peanut butter, the kind that doesn't need refrigeration. Once opened, it'll last a few months at room temperature, but unopened, it can stay good for up to 10 to 15 years if stored properly. That's a lot of PB&Js over a lot of years. It's calorie dense, which makes it perfect for emergencies when food might be scarce. A single spoonful gives you energy, protein, and healthy fats. All things you want when life gets unpredictable. Plus, it's super easy to eat. Spread it on crackers, mix it into oats, or just eat it straight from the spoon like a champ. Storing peanut butter is simple. Just keep it sealed in a cool, dark place. No fridge needed. As long as it stays dry and away from heat, it won't go bad anytime soon. And unlike fresh foods that spoil fast, peanut butter just keeps on ticking. One of the big pluses, it requires zero prep. No boiling, no mixing, no waiting. Open the jar, scoop, and go. In a real crisis, that kind of simplicity is priceless. Whether you're evacuating quickly or stuck without power, peanut butter is one of those grab-and-go items that never lets you down. And let's be honest, having something familiar and tasty in a stressful time can do wonders for your mood. When everything else feels uncertain, a spoonful of peanut butter can feel like a warm hug from your childhood kitchen. So next time you see a jar on sale, throw it in your cart, then do it again. You don't need an excuse, just peace of mind. Because when the world goes sideways, peanut butter might just be your pantry's unsung hero. Number 8, canned beans. Canned beans might not look like much, but they're quietly one of the best foods to have in a survival situation. They're packed with protein, fiber, and flavor, and when stored right, they can last for years without going bad. Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, they all hold up really well in sealed cans. Most labels say 2 to 5 years past the expiration date, but if the can stays intact and dry, they can last even longer. Some people have opened 10 or even 20-year-old cans and still eaten them with no issues. The cool thing about canned beans is that they're ready to eat straight from the can. No cooking needed. That's huge if the power goes out and you don't have access to a stove. Just pop the lid, grab a spoon, and you've got a filling meal in seconds. If you do have heat, you can warm them up or mash them into something more interesting, like refried beans or a quick bean dip. Add some bouillon cubes or spices if you've got them, and suddenly you've got something that tastes like comfort food instead of just survival fuel. They're also super affordable. You can usually grab a few cans for just a couple bucks at any grocery store or discount shop. And 9, powdered milk. Powdered milk might not be your first pick for a midnight snack, but when the power's out and the grocery stores are closed, it could be one of your best options for calcium, protein, and nutrition. Unlike regular milk that spoils in days, powdered milk can last 20 years or more if stored properly. That's right, decades. Just keep it sealed tight in a cool, dry place, ideally with an oxygen absorber, and it'll stay good until you actually need it. Rehydrating it is simple. Just add water and mix until smooth. It's not exactly gourmet, but it gets the job done, especially if you're trying to keep kids or older family members healthy during a crisis. You can also use it in cooking, baking, or even making homemade oatmeal cups with honey and oats. One of the big pluses? It doesn't take up much space. A single can or pouch of powdered milk can replace dozens of gallons of fresh milk over time, and unlike heavy glass bottles or plastic jugs, it won't break or leak in your pantry or emergency kit. It's also super useful beyond just drinking. Use it in pancake batter, hot cereal, sauces, or even soups to boost flavor and nutrition. In survival situations, every bit of extra energy helps, and powdered milk delivers without needing refrigeration or special storage. And here's something nostalgic. A lot of us grew up with powdered milk in our school lunches or camping kits. So keeping a few cans around isn't just smart prep, it's also a little trip down memory lane. So next time you see powdered milk on the shelf, don't skip it. Grab a can or two while they're there, because when fresh dairy is gone, powdered milk might just be your kitchen's secret weapon. Number 10, dehydrated potatoes. If you miss mashed potatoes when the world goes sideways, dehydrated potatoes are your new best friend. They might not look like much in the bag, but add hot water and stir. Boom, comfort food is back on the menu. These spuds are flash dried and sealed for the long haul. Stored properly in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, they can last anywhere from 20 to 25 years. That's longer than some appliances and definitely longer than any potato you've ever left in the pantry too long. Rehydrating them is super easy. Just pour boiling water over them, let them sit for a few minutes, and stir until soft. You'll get something that tastes surprisingly close to real mashed potatoes, especially if you've got a little powdered milk, butter, or bouillon cubes to spice things up. They're lightweight, compact, and perfect for emergency kits or camping trips. No peeling, no chopping, no mess, just instant carbs when you need them most. And in a crisis, calories matter. Potatoes are filling, comforting, and give you the energy to keep going when life gets tough. A lot of people forget about dehydrated potatoes until they're gone. But once you've tried them during a blackout or after a storm knocks out power, you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. They're also budget friendly. You can buy big buckets or pouches for not much more than fresh potatoes would cost for a week. And here's a bonus. They're nostalgic. A lot of us grew up eating instant mashed potatoes at dinner or school lunches. So having a stash tucked away isn't just practical, it's kind of emotional insurance. In uncertain times, a warm bowl of rehydrated potatoes can feel like home. So next time you see a bucket of dehydrated potatoes on sale, don't walk, grab it. It's one of those quiet heroes of survival food that makes everyday meals possible, even when nothing else feels normal. Number 11, pasta. Pasta isn't just for college students surviving on sauce from a jar, it's also one of the best foods to stockpile when you're prepping for emergencies. It's cheap, filling, and if stored right, it can last up to 10 to 15 years without going bad. Yes, you read that right. Pasta doesn't spoil like bread or milk. As long as it stays dry and sealed tight in an airtight container, it'll be there when you need it most. No refrigeration needed, no special tricks. Just keep it away from moisture and bugs, and you're good. It's super versatile, too. Boil it up and toss it with canned tomatoes, peanut butter sauce, or even just a little oil and salt. If you've got powdered cheese or bouillon cubes, you've basically got gourmet survival food, and if things get really wild, pasta can even be ground into flour for baking. Bonus points if you've got a way to make fire. One of the biggest pluses, pasta is calorie dense. In a crisis, when every meal counts, having something that fills you up and gives you energy is huge. Plus, it's easy to cook. Just boiling water in a pot is all you need. Whether you're using a camping stove or a campfire, pasta gets done fast. And let's not forget how budget-friendly it is. You can grab a big box at almost any store for just a few bucks. Number 12, rolled or dried grains. When most people think survival food, they picture cans and jars. But don't sleep on dried grains. Barley, quinoa, farro, millet, these little powerhouses are packed with nutrients, last for decades, and can turn into seriously filling meals when stored right. These grains are like the tougher, longer-lasting cousins of rice and oats. If you keep them sealed tight in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, they can easily last 20 years or more. No rot, no mold, no problem. Just pure long-term pantry gold. Cooking with them is simple. Just boil them in water or broth until soft. Some take longer than others. Barley can need an hour or more. But once they're done, you've got something hearty, healthy, and satisfying. Mix them into soups, stews, or even cold salads if you've got fresh stuff around. When things get rough, having options makes a big difference. One of the best things about rolled or dried grains, they're nutrient dense. Unlike plain pasta or white rice, a lot of these grains pack fiber, protein, and essential vitamins. That means they don't just fill your belly, they actually fuel your body, which matters when life gets unpredictable. They're also budget friendly. You can buy bulk bags at discount stores, co-ops, or online for not much more than regular groceries. And since a little goes a long way, you won't have to worry about running out fast. And here's the bonus. They're nostalgic for some of us. If you grew up eating oatmeal, barley soup, or even old school grain-based dishes, keeping a bag around feels kind of like holding onto a piece of home. In uncertain times, that kind of comfort is priceless. So next time you see a bag of quinoa, rolled barley, or farro on the shelf, grab it, then grab another, because when the world feels shaky, having a stash of hearty, long-lasting grains could be one of your smartest moves yet. Number 13, canned meats. When you think survival food, protein probably isn't the first thing you picture, but it should be, and that's where canned meats come in. Beef, chicken, turkey, Spam. These tins of goodness are like little flavor bombs that can last for years without going bad. Most canned meats have a shelf life of around 2 to 5 years past the expiration date, but if stored properly in a cool, dry place, they can easily last even longer. Some people have opened 10 or even 15-year-old cans and still eaten them with no issues. Just make sure the can isn't bulging, rusted, rusted, or leaking. Those are red flags. The best part, you don't need to cook them, just open and eat. That makes canned meats perfect for emergencies when power is out and stoves won't work. They're also super easy to pack into bug-out bags or emergency kits because they're lightweight and compact. They give you real, solid protein when fresh meat isn't an option. Pair a can of chicken with some rice or pasta, and suddenly you've got a full meal. Add some bouillon cubes or spices if you've got them, and boom, gourmet survival dinner. Spam might get a bad rap, but let's be real. It's kind of iconic. A lot of us grew up hearing stories about how soldiers lived off Spam during wartime. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done, and it tastes way better than you'd expect. And here's the bonus. Canned meats are budget friendly. You can usually find deals at big box stores, discount shops, or even dollar stores. So next time you see a few on sale, toss them in your cart. You don't need a reason, just peace of mind. So whether you're prepping for a blackout, hurricane, or just want something hearty in your pantry, canned meats are a quiet powerhouse. In a world where food can go bad fast, having a few tins tucked away could be one of your smartest moves yet. Number 14. Vinegar. Vinegar might not be the first thing you think of when prepping for emergencies, but it should be. It doesn't go bad ever. Seriously, vinegar has such a long shelf life that even if you forget about it for years, it'll still be just as useful when you finally crack it open. It's one of those quiet heroes of survival storage. No flashy packaging, no expiration date, just pure, powerful usefulness. Thanks to its high acidity, vinegar naturally preserves itself. No need for special storage or oxygen absorbers. Just keep the lid on tight and store it in a cool, dark place. White vinegar is the most versatile kind. Use it for cooking, cleaning, disinfecting, or even treating minor wounds if things get rough. Apple cider vinegar is another great pick. Some people swear by it for health reasons, and it can also help preserve food or add flavor to meals when fresh ingredients are scarce. In the kitchen, vinegar brings flavor to the table. A splash can turn bland rice or beans into something that actually tastes good. Mix it with oil and spices, and boom, instant salad dressing. Add it to water, and you've got a refreshing drink that's way better than nothing. Number 15. Hardtack was crackers. Hardtack might sound like something pirates or Civil War soldiers ate, and guess what? That's basically exactly what it was. But don't let its old school vibe fool you. This stuff is pure survival gold. Hardtack is basically just baked flour, water, and salt. No fancy ingredients, no preservatives, just rock-solid nutrition that doesn't go bad. Some hardtack found in shipwrecks still looked edible after over 100 years. That's how tough this stuff is. Crackers work the same way. Saltines, pilot bread, oyster crackers, and as long as they're sealed tight and stored dry, they can last for years without going stale or moldy. Just keep them away from moisture, and they'll be ready when you need them most. One of the big pluses, they're lightweight and compact, perfect for emergency kits, bug-out bags, or stashing in your car or camping gear. No cooking needed. Just open the package and eat. Pair them with peanut butter, canned meat, honey, or even just water, and suddenly you've got a real meal. They're also super budget-friendly. You can grab boxes of crackers or hardtack online or at grocery stores for just a few bucks. So next time you see a deal, stock up. It's one of those things you never think about until you really need it. And then you'll be glad you did. And here's a fun fact. Hardtack used to be such a pain to chew that soldiers would sometimes soak it in coffee or soup to soften it up. So if you ever find yourself stuck with a particularly tough batch, just follow their lead. Add a little liquid, get creative, and make it work. So don't knock hardtack or crackers just because they seem basic. In a crisis, having something simple, reliable, and shelf stable could be the difference between surviving and thriving. Now that you've seen all 15 emergency survival items with the longest shelf life, you might be surprised how many of them are already hiding in your pantry. The best part? Most of these foods don't require fancy storage, expensive brands, or complicated prep, just a little planning and a bit of space on your shelf. You don't need to rush out and buy a year's worth of supplies overnight. Start small. Grab one or two extra cans or bags on your next grocery run. Over time, you'll build up a stockpile that gives you real peace of mind, no matter what life throws at you. And remember, emergencies don't care about your schedule. That's why it pays to be ready before you need to be. Whether it's a blackout, storm, supply chain hiccup, or just a personal rough patch, having food you can count on makes all the difference. Some of these picks were nostalgic, some were budget friendly, and a few were just plain cool, looking at you, honey and vinegar. But they all share one thing: they last way longer than you'd expect and keep your options open when things go sideways. So take what works for your lifestyle. You don't have to live like a bunker-dwelling prepper to benefit from a little extra preparedness. A few smart choices now can save you a lot of stress later. Thanks for watching. If this list gave you ideas or made you look at your pantry in a new light, smash that like button below. Drop a comment and tell me which item you're adding to your stockpile first, or if you already have one of these hidden away and forgot about it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that bell so you never miss another video on food, frugality, or how to stay calm when the world feels shaky. Stay safe, stay smart, and start stocking, because the best time to prepare is always before you need to.